We were doing some shopping on Newegg and we saw some GPUs that looked a little bit suspect, and I'm wondering if we even got what we paid for.
Spoiler, do not spend your money on these graphics cards. Especially when we have today's sponsor, Jawa.gg, which we'll talk about later on today's video and show you guys how buying used is normally the better option. But we're gonna have fun in today's video and showcase these 5 GPUs we bought on Newegg, but maybe, just maybe, we'll find a diamond in the rough. We'll start with our cheapest option or work our way up to the most expensive, and we're gonna throw it in our test bench, run 3D Mark, get a 3D Mark score, and figure out the price performance of each GPU and determine a winner of no-name GPUs. We'll start with the cheapest option. So this graphics card right here that Jackson has in his hand. First of all, do you see anything that tells you what it is on the front?
Well, this looks like a reference NVIDIA style box or card.
You're on the right track. It is an NVIDIA GPU. This is a 51 RISC GTX 960.
960, okay. I feel like I've seen this name so many times. Shinzen, I'm not gonna try to pronounce it, but I think I've seen this name before.
Now, seeing a 960 new on Newegg is quite interesting, considering we're at the point where 10 series is just now starting to lose driver support. 900 series has been there. And this is, appearance. What is this?
Some of the pins and the gold fingers are missing.
Uh-oh.
Wow, there's all these things about basically saying you may have problems, but it's normal. No, seriously, that's what the whole thing is. It's just read each
These are all
bold,
problems?
And they're like, yeah, no, that's fine. All right, so what Matt's saying, by the way, about the GPU, maybe not being new, because how could it be, is essentially from what we know. The 960 was made, what, 10 years ago?
More than, yeah, 10 years ago, because 10 series was 2016, so it's probably what, 2015,
probably.
2014 range?
Yeah, so they're clearly not still making 960 chipsets, so what they're doing is they're taking chipsets off of recycled cards typically and putting them onto these new boards. So the board itself, you can see it's probably a brand new board. A lot of the micro transistors are probably new, but then the actual the die of the GPU, the most important part that's underneath this heatsink, is very likely used.
So yeah, this does come with 4 gigs of VRAM, very underwhelming in 2025 standards, but hey, the 1650 has it, and we played Fortnite on a PC video recently, and it will play esports titles, but really, what you're gonna see with all of these, and again, with this video, the ones that are crap, they're going back to Newegg. I'm just saying, they're getting sitting right back to Newegg. The prices of these cards are not great, but they're cheap, so it's cheap enough to where a uneducated consumer would be like, oh, that's a cheap graphics card, I will buy that. Well, when you pay $79.80 for a GTX 960, you're not getting good bang for buck, especially compared to the used market.
Yeah, I think on the used market, you can probably get one of these for what, $35-ish dollars,
maybe 20 bucks. You could get them pretty dang cheap, but
yeah.
This one's gonna be our first test subject, and we're going to throw it on our open air test bench with a 9600X. Really, with all these GPUs, CPU ain't gonna matter too much. And we're gonna run 3D Mark, our time spy benchmark. We always like to run to get a cents per point calculation, so we determine how much score we get for the amount of money we paid, and it gives us a price performance calculation that's pretty loose, but it allows us to determine a winner and the worst of the bunch. So I guess let's throw it on the test bench and hope it actually works, because that's not even a gimme with these graphics cards.
Nice and loose. So we got our 9600X test bench here, 32 gigs of DDR5. This is obviously not a normal pairing for a 960, so you're probably this is the best performance you will see this card do, because nobody's gonna spend $600 on their PC to go with this thing.
Nah, just a way to limit any variables so we have a consistent CPU. So we're gonna install this, and hopefully it'll work out just fine. And this one has a fresh Windows install on it, not on purpose. I accidentally deleted it the other day, and I don't think it even has 3D Mark installed, but good thing 3D Mark takes a second to download. Moment of truth, will it work? Last time with Amazon, I will give them credit. We had some cards not perform well, but they all worked.
Yeah. They just died afterwards.
They just died afterwards. The ones we kept. We kept that 5700 XT. That was the winner. I don't know where that one's at.
I feel like it came back at some point.
All right, there we go. We posted it at least. So what we're going to do is install drivers. If you have any issues installing drivers along the way, we'll jump back in, but we'll just go ahead and jump into 3D Mark if we have no issues. I just installed the latest driver, the 581.57 driver from Tuesday, October 14th of 2025, and the 960 does have driver support. So this thing still has a little bit of life in it, but we are going to install 3D Mark. Everything seems to install correctly, and it's showing up as a 960. Let's go ahead and look in Task Manager just to make sure. But we look at our 960 here, it's looking legit. Only getting about 14 FPS so far, so not a great start, but we'll let it run, get our score, and figure out what we got for our money. All right, guys, we ended up with the score of 2,314. Again, we're just focusing on the GPU score because our CPU is going to stay consistent, and that ends up being a 3 cent per point score in terms of our price to performance. Now, we'll get more technical if we have a bunch that are tied at 2 to 3 cents down to the decimal point, but right now to get things started, 3 cents per point. Let's move on to the next GPU. Now before we get back to testing some sketchy GPUs, we have to give big thanks to today's video sponsor, Jawa.gg. Buying used is always going to be the best way to get good bang for buck on these budget graphics cards, especially if you're trying to build a PC on a tight budget. And Jawa.gg is a great resource to be able to buy from trusted sellers that are vetted by a community of PC gamers to allow you to get the best bang for buck when buying used and shop with confidence. And just scrolling through here, there are a bunch of different options to choose from on this MSI Ventus RTX 4060 for $230. Really good price to performance for a previous gen GPU that's still capable of playing pretty much anything you want at 1080p and even stretching into 1440p with some DLSS. And now you don't even need to buy just PC hardware from Jawa. There's a bunch of sellers on there that are also selling full-fledged gaming PCs. This is an RGB focused gaming PC with an RTX 3060 and Ryzen 5 3600 with a 1TB SSD for $569, or this value gamer PC from this other seller that is a Ryzen 5 5500, RTX 3070, 16 gigs of RAM for $679. And the best part is you can save even more money using our code TOASTY10 on checkout. You can save 10% off up to $10 on your first purchase over on Jawa.gg. But thanks again to Jawa for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to testing some suspect graphics cards. So the next GPU, I'll be honest, is not going to be good in price performance, but it is a weird GPU that I had to buy, and it was more expensive than our previous one, and I already know it's going to be worse in gaming. This card is an R7 350, but it has 6 video out.
A R7 350?
Yes.
Is that 4 gigs of VRAM or 2?
We're currently working with 2 gigs of VRAM, and this thing was $95.99.
All right, and this is the... I'm gonna call it the Sauron, as in the antagonist from Lord of the Rings. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
We got anything?
This is good. Best design of thermal structure and stability performance.
Independent innovation and leading the future. So this thing I would imagine is being sold as like a multi-monitor, like stock trading kind of setup. But it's a really freaky GPU, and you'll see why. I remember showing Jackson this, and he was just like, "What? Look at the video out."
Whoa. That's a 6 VGA.
6 VGA, which
not even normal. Is it normal size VGA?
No, I don't think this is 9-pin. No. Pretty sure this is VGA. Okay, so this says 350 2G, so 2 gigs. Same deal. I mean, it's very obviously just like recycled stuff. I mean, it's funny though because like a lot of this stuff's recycled is like name brand. Like I noticed the last one had Samsung RAM. This one has SK Hynix RAM on it. So there's name brand stuff on there.
Now the question is, and the viewers will get mad if we don't do this. There are 6 video outs on this thing.
Oh, do you want to like...
Can we plug up 6 monitors to it? We have the monitors in the back. I could bring the test bench to all the ones we just got.
Oh.
I knew his reaction to this would be this.
Yeah, we probably could do that because I'm sure we have extra VGA cables in a box.
Let's figure that out.
I'm just gonna start plugging in VGA cables here.
So you might be wondering where we got all these monitors. Go to PCBros.tech, by the way, if you're in the market for a workstation monitor at a great price.
We have 140 of them.
We have a lot of these monitors, so this just kind of worked out conveniently. If we didn't, this wouldn't have happened, but we're actually gonna test it for you guys.
I couldn't imagine like having to open like 6 nice monitor boxes just to make this work.
6 monitors, all in portrait.
Who else is gonna do this work?
Gotta love that. Which one is it gonna display out to?
One of my least favorite features of monitors is how you get like 1 second of on time before they're like, nope, there's no signal, you can't do anything else.
Yeah, well, why is that? Explain.
Like, give me like at least like 30 seconds, you know?
Dude, these buttons do
pressing
nothing.
Everything. It doesn't matter.
They do nothing.
I guess it means that it knows it has signals, so it's just like, nah.
I guess let's try with 1. Maybe it's. I would assume it would just display to 1, right? But. Oh, we have one.
Oh, that feels good. Oh, look at the ghosting on that mug. Oh my god, you see that, Jonah? Look at it like load.
Find me some AMD drivers.
Wow, 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 wow.
It only shows 1 monitor right now, so let's do a restart. Or this thing needs like, I'll have to look at the booklet. It's gonna tell me to download some like malware to make it work, and then we're just not doing that. So we've been restarting, plugging one in at a time. They're not working. It probably is some driver thing, because even in the driver that's installed on here, like, we can't even change the resolution. It's working.
Drop what you're doing and get back in there right now.
Did you get him to work?
Just come on.
I bet he has 6 monitors.
I have 6 working monitors. Wow. It actually blue screened when I found the real driver from the website the graphics card company tells you to download it. while I was downloading a blue screen, it restarted and then all the monitors worked.
Recording in case it crashes. I tried to save Meme Linus and everything's locked up now.
No!
Oh, no, we're good. We're good. Oh. Large Linus. All right, back that camera out, John. They got to see this. Okay, we don't need repeating. Yeah, where's extend? Oh.
You center it now.
I can't. I can only span. Let's run Afterburner, I guess. It works now. So we're running it in landscape because I tried to do portrait and it tried to span across multiple monitors and it crashed. So yeah, we're not going to do that, but I should have Afterburner ready and running, and hopefully we just get a GPU score. I know this is going to be bad. Like, the GPU score is going to suck, but the fact that we got all these monitors working, kind of cool. Look at that low FPS, baby. Y'all can barely see it. Let me help. This will help McAllister too, obviously. Yeah. There you go. Looking beautiful. All right, guys, we end up with a whopping GPU score of 622, which is a 15 cent per point score. I have a strong feeling this is going to be the worst one. But again, that doesn't factor in that we got all these monitors working. Yay! Now I got to put them all away. So let's put them away and then switch on to the next GPU. You can see on the box what this one is.
High-end Solo.
High-end Solo.
So I guess they're trying to say it's a no, it's not a single fan, it's a 590. What does Solo mean?
I don't know what Solo means. It's an independent graphics card. It's on its own. It's going to conquer all the frames.
Strong of performance.
But this card, the specific model name is the Crotep RX 590 8GB 2304 stream processors, and it has, well, the classic on the back here.
It's optimized PCB.
Now, what would you think is a reasonable price for a graphics card of this caliber?
Is this one of the weird ones too, where it's like stream processors are kind of weird? It's more like a 580.
Well, this is one where it deems the stream processors, but when you actually look it up, that's what the 590 should have. So it's almost like they're just covering themselves for the whole 580 2048 shenanigans. So
$110.
$106.99. Which
Okay.
I think is kind of a lot for this GPU
is a lot.
nowadays, but it is a little bit better than a 580. It has 8 gigs of VRAM, GDDR5 VRAM, but this one is probably the more capable, quote-unquote, capable gaming GPU we've had so far.
Yeah, I mean, if it really is like a 590 8 gig, it'll definitely game. No, I mean, I definitely wouldn't pay more than like
There's the brand
60
name
for
that I was
it.
talking about. I was like, I didn't see it on the box, but I see it on the fans.
Dude, it smells already burnt. Like, it smells like a component's already blown up.
Oh,
Like, that smells like the magic blue smoke, as we called it in college. Jonah, you take a whiff.
I was gonna say,
I don't know. There's
maybe this is bad. I don't know, or maybe.
Wouldn't it be crazy if it's already bad?
What if it just started smoking? Okay, we're plugged up here. I can't promise it's gonna be as exciting as the 6-monitor graphics card, but the hope is that it works.
I'm plugging my ears.
Oh. Well, the fans aren't spinning. They twitched.
Uh-oh.
I don't trust this card.
You know, it's gonna be funny if we actually just diagnosed it by just smelling it as being a bad GPU. Yeah, what's happening? What is it saying?
We're on CPU and flashing VRAM.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Did we kill this thing with the R7 350? Oh, nope, we're going, Jonah. It's not over yet. Oh, the 590, that's very scary. And we got the little cursor thing. All right, let's get into Windows and get a driver going, and if we have any issues with that, we'll check in. So remember when I told Jackson that this was just a normal 590? Well, that's not the case. This is the classic 590 GME, which a little lore about this graphics card is the 590 GME is a 14 nanometer based GPU, while the normal 590 is a 12 nanometer. So this is basically a rebranded RX 580. So the 590 GME is a real 580, while the 580 2048 is basically an RX 570. The things AMD was doing back in the day, I just will never understand. But at least this seems like the fastest GPU we have, even if it is just a real 580. So it looks like we're getting about 28 FPS, which is looking decent. We'll let this totally run through though, and then from there, we'll be able to see if our price performance is better. Because again, this is a lot more expensive than that 960. Oh yeah, that GPU score is looking way better. We're currently looking at doing the price to calculations here, a 0.02781 cent per point score. So this one right now is on top, even though it is the most expensive we've seen so far. But will we see any of these other expensive options we're going through do any better? Let's find out. We're moving on to something even better. Justice Guides Us. This is a classic box. We've seen this one before. The Justice be guiding us, and this in particular is probably one of the worst price performance options we've got. This is the Sharana GTX 1060 6 gig, and it's more expensive than the 590. So if that tells you anything about price performance here,
it's got the best heat dissipation structure though.
Oh wow, is it the best heat dissipation?
So this is the brand that we just looked at.
You're right.
Yeah.
They have range, guys.
It's
They
Sauron.
multi-display out cards, and
This
then
is
they make
insane.
That's horrible.
GTX
That looks so bad.
1060 series. You know, you could have just said GTX 1060, guys.
The 1060
What else
series.
is in the series?
The 3 gig, I guess. There's a 3 and 6 gig. Is that a series? That's
Yeah.
like some twins.
Yeah, so 6 gig, beefy heatsink on it, little 6-pin. Okay,
Video out look normal. 3 video out.
pretty normal. Yeah, I think they're normally like 3 or 4.
It was $149.
Oh my gosh, that's really bad.
That's really bad, and this is one where I'm very curious because this should be about the same as the last GPU, close to performance, because that generation it was like 1060 or 580 was kind
was
of
a
like
big
the
debate.
back and forth, and this one has less VRAM, so we'll see what the price performance is like, but that price, do not buy that.
Yeah,
that is not a good price. We're getting close, we're literally $4 off a 3056 gig.
Yeah, and I know some of y'all are home are like, that card sucks. It's way better than that card.
1060, are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
way better.
Let's make sure it actually works though.
If it didn't say GTX 1060 series,
It does
would
look
almost
better.
look realistic.
It does look better, but we'll see. All right.
Sit on it.
This one smell? No, it doesn't smell. This one looks like greatness. This one looks like it's gonna post immediately. Hey!
That was quick, very quick.
Same deal, let's get the drivers going. All right guys, so drivers look like they installed properly. Let's check in Task Manager real quick. So we have our 1066 gig looking good. I'll also open up MSI Afterburner to make sure it shows up. And if we go through here, we have the GP106A, which if we swap, 1066 gig, looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and configure Afterburner real quick. I think I have to use GPU2 now though, so we'll go ahead and modify that. We're gonna add 100% GPU usage, about 40 degrees Celsius, 2 gigs of VRAM, 108 watts being pulled, and getting about 2930 FPS. Let's see what the end result is. All right, guys, so we end up with a GPU score of 4,308, which is actually higher than I expected, which ends up giving us a 0.03472 cent per point, which does put us a little bit behind the RX 590, which again, we kind of expected going into this. But that 960 actually has a better score. Very, very close, but that 960 is better. So this card slots in at third with the monster of a 6-monitor GPU in last. Now we have one more GPU to go through, and this one might be promising. All right, guys, time for the last GPU. Now, this one is the most expensive. Obviously, we've been working our way up here, but this one does have the most promise because it's actually a modern-ish gaming GPU. I was holding upside down, wasn't I? Here you go, this looks better. Meet the 2060 Super.
Oh, wow, that's a lot newer. And I will say, out of all these brands, Soyo is definitely the one that I would say I trust the most. And even then, that's like with a grain of salt.
Yeah, the Soyo cards are ones we've gotten before. And again, all these cards in general, we don't recommend. We've said this like 1,000 times throughout the video. But the Soyo ones we've gotten, we've had better luck with. And also, it's a more name brand than any of these. I mean, like, look what's happening over here. Like, I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, and the fact that it's just going to be an overall newer die is probably a little more promising.
It's more of a, and it looks better than all of them.
It actually has a backplate.
has a backplate.
It's plastic, but
Tinny plastic, but it's there.
yeah, it's a 2060 Super 8 gig. I feel like it's been a long time since I've seen like a 2060 Super.
But the problem is the price. We're
God.
currently looking at $196 for a 2060
I want to know who's
Super.
buying these.
I want to know too, because they have ratings and people have bought these. I don't know who's going out of their way to say, I want a 20 series 60 card, because you know those tech YouTubers out there, they said 40 series is bad. They said 50 series is bad. 30 series, you know, too expensive for me. Let's go 20 series and buy them new.
My guess is that, or it's people with older builds and like their 2060 went out and they don't know they can just get something different.
They're
So
just like,
I need the same thing.
I need my 2060 Super. You know what's
Yeah.
funny? Did you see the video out on this? There's
a
a DVI and an HDMI display. Or a
That
DVI
might have
and a-
been normal.
That might have been normal. Honestly, this is probably going to be fine. The Soyo cards have never really ended up being
Yeah.
scams, but 2060 Super, fastest card by far that we have, but that price point is pretty high. Will it
What will the
work?
cent per point be? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's find out. It'd be funny if the one card we felt like we trusted didn't work.
Yeah, it's the one.
Let's see this one displays out. And it looks like it's gonna do it. Yay. Same old, last driver test. Let's see what the value is here. All right, guys, we're in Task Manager, and look at that. 2060 Super, yay, it's real. We kind of knew it was going to be real, but here's our 2060 Super, and then in Afterburner it also shows 2060 Super. So let's launch 3D Mark and see, is the price tag worth it? All right, that's better, and yeah, that FPS is looking higher, but I was kind of hoping to be seeing like 60-ish FPS around this point. Okay, it's getting a little better. Let's see what our score ends up being. All right, guys, we ended up with a score, a GPU score of 8,631, which doing some calculations does make it the best price performance GPU so far at 0.2271 cent per point. Albeit it is expensive, and albeit we really recommend none of these GPUs, the 2060 Super from Soyo seems to be the winner of the bunch. Let's gather up all these GPUs and summarize what we learned today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner from best to worst when it comes to our cheap Newegg graphics cards that are no-name brand.
And it's the 2060 Super, and even though it is the winner, I don't think any of these are necessarily winners. I mean, this one did the coolest thing. It was able to support 6 monitors, but at $90, I don't know if that's the best bang for buck, but it's an option. But either way, like we told you guys at the beginning of this video, the end of the video has not changed. We don't really recommend you buy any of these GPUs, but it is kind of a PSA to show you guys that some of these do work, and it depends on the price you get them. If you're willing to take a risk, they do work, but in the long run, they end up having issues that we can't really test in this video. So buyer beware, but if you'll learn more about GPUs on Newegg, links down below, links some actual budget GPUs. We do recommend you buy new in the description, so you guys don't buy the ones that will end up failing on you. But I want to hear from you guys. Do you guys enjoy ththese videos where we buy really sketchy GPUs? And is there another retailer out there you want to see us try? Let us know.
And as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you check out our other 2 YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/ToastyBros. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. I don't know if that's
But
good.
not at PCBros.tech.
But not at PCBros.tech. You'll never take a risk at PCBros.tech. You'll only get the reward. Use code ToastyBros on checkout. You will save 3% of your next purchase. See you guys later. Goodbye.
With sweepstakes.